Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to our Daily Clues by Sam. It is a brutal one today, so very exciting. I wasn't expecting this because usually when we have a tricky one on Fridays, we don't have any harder ones during the weekend, but a brutal one is very nice. Let's see how actually difficult this is. And if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a daily puzzle where there are 20 people and we have to figure out each of them to be a criminal or an innocent using the clues that they give us. So nobody lies, not even the criminals. And if you want to play along or you need some help, the link is in the description and I'm gonna be explaining the logic as I solve this puzzle. Let's hope I don't get any yellows, all greens, and no additional tips. Let's start. With Bunty telling us that Xavier is one of Tina's 3 criminal neighbors. So Xavier is a criminal, and Tina has 5 people neighboring her. 3 of them are criminal, which means that 2 innocents neighbor Tina. Now, Xavier says there is only one innocent to the right of Andre. Where's Andre? Andre has one innocent already to his right, that's Bunty. So the other 2 people are criminals, and we don't need Xavier's clue anymore, so we click on it and it goes a little see-through. Now, 2 new clues. Chloe's saying that exactly 2 of the 4 criminals neighboring Nancy are in row 4. So Nancy has 3 people neighboring her in row 4. 2 of those 3 are gonna be criminals, and Nancy has 2 more criminals elsewhere neighboring her, but we don't know about any of them. We do know that Nancy shares 2 people with Tina, so gotta keep that in mind. But let's look at Frida's clue saying that Olive and Rob have no innocent neighbors in common. So Olive and Rob share 2 people as neighbors, and none of them are innocents, and we knew from Bunty's clue that Tina has only 3 criminal neighbors, and all 3 are revealed now, so that makes Olive and Zach innocents. We don't need Bunty's clue anymore. And we know that Rob and Tina are opposites because of what Chloe said about Nancy in row 4. So we leave that clue there and we tag Rob and Tina with the same color to indicate their opposites. Now, we don't need Frida's clue anymore. So Leo now says that Penny has 3 innocent neighbors. Okay, leave that there. Nancy says that column A is the only column with 4 innocents. Okay, so we're talking about innocents now. There's no other columns that could have 4 innocents. Maybe column D, but we don't know yet. What we do know is that Penny has 3 innocent neighbors, right? Which means she has 2 criminal neighbors. Because she also has 5 people neighboring her. If those 2 criminal neighbors were in row 5, it wouldn't be possible for there to be 4 innocents in column A because there's only 5 people in column A. So there could be at most 1 criminal neighbor or 1 criminal person in column A. But we could have 2 innocents neighboring Penny here, and Penny herself being a criminal, for example. So we don't know yet. We do know from Olive that each row has at least 2 innocents. So since row 4 has 1 innocent here, even though we don't know who it is, we know there is going to be 1 innocent who's either Rob or Tina. We need a second innocent who has to be Penny, so we know now that Penny is not a criminal. And Andre has to be the second innocent in row 1. No other rows yet, though. But Penny says that Igor is one of Lisa's 2 criminal neighbors. So Igor is a criminal, and Lisa has 2. So Nancy now needs only 1 more criminal neighbor, right? Because she has Igor and Saleo, and she's gonna have a 3rd one here in row 4. And her total is 4, so only 1 more. What else? We know that Penny couldn't have both criminals here. So there is going to be 1 criminal here. But could there be 2 criminals here. I mean, why couldn't there? Because if that happens, if all of Penny's criminal neighbors, Penny has 3, and how many does Lisa have? Hmm. Who said something about Lisa? Oh, Penny. So Lisa has 2, which means that no, Penny couldn't have her 2 be Martin and Rob. So that's good. That's good. Could both Martin and Rob be innocent? If that's the case, because Lisa still needs a second criminal neighbor, Henry would have to be that criminal, which would force everybody else in column A to be an innocent, so Lisa and Umer. And now Penny has way too many innocents neighboring her. She needs 3 criminals, right? No, she needs 3 innocents, so 2 criminals. But there's only 1 person left to be Penny's criminal neighbor. So no, we couldn't have both Martin and Rob be innocents, and we couldn't have both of them be criminals because of Lisa. So that makes them opposites. Let's tag it with the lower tags, different color. And now that we know that they are opposites, that makes Lisa have her second criminal neighbor and last one here in column B, which makes Henry an innocent. Now, Lisa and Umer are opposites because we know there has to be 1 criminal neighbor, 1 criminal person, 1 criminal in column A. And if there is for sure 1 criminal here in column A that neighbors Penny, then all of Penny's criminal neighbors are accounted for, which makes Wanda an innocent. And Nancy, how do we go from for Nancy's situation here? I mean, if Rob is an innocent, then all of Nancy's criminal neighbors are set. If not, then Jerry and Katie are opposites. But how do we disambiguate that? We don't need Penny's clue because of the tags. Penny has exactly 3 innocent neighbors. Yeah. So is it about the rows having at least 2 innocents? Nah, it couldn't be. Because there is for sure gonna be 1 more innocent here in row 2. There's no way there isn't 1 more innocent. So is it about how many innocents are in each column? Because if Rob is an innocent, he makes Martin and Tina criminals, which makes Katie and Jerry innocents because of Nancy. And now there's 3 innocents in column D, which is okay. But if Rob is a criminal, he makes Martin and Tina innocents, which couldn't make Katie an innocent because that would make column D have 4 innocents, which we know that only column A has 1 criminal only. So in any case, Jerry couldn't be a criminal, because if Jerry is a criminal, then he forces Katie to be an innocent. So we know that Jerry is always an innocent. And we get a new clue. There's an equal number of criminals in rows 4 and 5. So we know how many criminals are there in row 4, even though we don't know who they are. There's Salil and either Rob or Tina, so that's 2. Which means that row 5 has to have 2 as well, so that makes Umer a criminal and Lisa an innocent. They were tagged with the same color. Now Umer says there's an odd number of innocents neighboring Salil. Salif so far has 3 incense, 1 Dazek and Olive, and that's an odd number, but he's gonna get 1 more here in row 4, who's either Robertina, which makes 4, that is an even number. So we need 1 more person to be an innocent, and that makes Martin an innocent. Martin was opposites with Rob, who is opposites with Tina. And now Nancy still needs 1 more criminal, who has to be Katie, right? And we are done the puzzle for today. Not brutal at all. Faster than 50% of all solvers. It's been a while since I've gotten one of these stats. So that's nice. Nice to get. Pretty happy about that. Let me know how it went for you and what were your pain points, because I can try to focus on explaining that better in the future. And I'll leave you guys here for today. See you tomorrow for more Rules by Sam. Bye bye.